As I've gotten older, I've tried harder to avoid drama in my life. But when I was a young man, I did not run from drama. I embraced drama. I lived for drama. I was a drama major. Now, when I was younger, I had a terrible stutter, and it made me awkwardly shy. But what freed me from that stutter was taking a drama class when I was 16, because now I was regurgitating someone else's dialogue and living through someone else's thoughts, and that made me slow down and enunciate and get my words out, and then I overcame my stutter, and the cute girl from my computer science class said hi to me after the play, so I thought, this is it, I'm an actor, this is my life. Theater is my life. So I went to college in Austin at this small school called St. Edward's University, and I was a theater major. More specifically, I was pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Theater Arts with an acting emphasis. Because we all know that in the entertainment industry, the most important thing is having a college diploma. I'm sure when Brad Pitt went to his first audition, they were like, you're a very charming, handsome actor, but we can't cast you until we see a transcript that proved you spent a semester studying Sophocles and Commedia dell'arte. So I knew, I'm gonna get this degree, I'm gonna be a star off Broadway, this is my life. And at 18, when I was a freshman, I was really into the idea of being a method actor. Like, I'm not just gonna play these parts, I'm gonna live these parts, I'm gonna research these parts, I'm gonna embody the heart and soul of my characters. And so I started out having to do a scene my first semester from this play, Butterflies Are Free, just a 70s play about a blind man. So for 5 days straight, whenever I was in my dorm room, I forced myself to close my eyes and feel around the room like I was blind. Like, there's the desk, there's the chair, there's my bag. I couldn't open my eyes till I got out the door into the hallway. And it worked because I did the scene in class. And this girl after class said to me, I believed you were blind because you never made eye contact with what you were touching. I was just doing this. I can't see, my eyes don't work. So yeah, this was my method. I knew this was my path to becoming a superstar actor. So my second semester, I got cast in a student production, and I was gonna play this homeless character, and the very creative name, Homeless Joe. And Homeless Joe only had 5 lines, but I was gonna make those the best 5 lines ever spoken by a homeless person in a student production ever. And I needed to have experience being homeless. I was from the suburbs of San Antonio. I never really experienced a hard Scrabble existence. The only homeless person I knew was this guy on the freeway on-ramp who had a sign saying, Vietnam vet, please help. So that's all I knew about being homeless, is that you were a vet and you held a sign. I thought, well, it's too late for me to go to Vietnam, unfortunately. So I can't be a vet, but I can spend some time on the street. And it was spring break coming up, so I thought, this is perfect. Instead of going to South Padre Island with all my buddies and chasing girls and getting drunk and having fun, I'm gonna spend spring break being homeless and knowing what it's really like. So I set out one night from my dorm room. I had a Snickers bar in my pocket for emergencies. I wasn't gonna eat it. I was only gonna live out of dumpsters and through panhandling. I was gonna be hardcore. And I had gotten some clothes, like I rubbed them in some mud, make them dirty and appropriately shabby. And I hadn't shaved. I thought, this is it. I'm gonna be on the streets and I'm gonna have this experience and I'm gonna be this person fully. So I set out walking, and I walked as far as I could until I got tired, which is about 3 miles, which to me was like walking forever because I was from a car culture. Like, I walked for like over an hour, wow. And then I found a park, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sleep on a park bench. That's what they do. And I found some old newspaper in a trash can and made a pillow out of the newspaper. And I laid down. I found one park bench under a street light that had gone out, so it was a little dark there. And I laid down and I fell asleep because I'm a champion sleeper. I can sleep anywhere. And I thought, this is the start of my 5-day journey. And I fell asleep, and I woke up to the feeling of like this sharp object poking me in the back. And I wake up, and it's a cop. He's hitting me with his nightstick. He's like, hey, you can't sleep here. And he pointed a sign saying, no loitering between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And I said, well, I got nowhere to go. And he's like, where do you go to school? And I'm like, I'm not a student, I'm a dropout. He's like, let me see your ID. And I'm like, I don't have ID, I'm a man on the street. He's like, he's not buying this at all. So But I think I'm being really convincing. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Joe. He's like, Joe what? I'm like, it's just Joe. So he makes me get up and he says, all right, put your hands on the bench and spread your legs. And he starts frisking me. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's frisking me really roughly. And he's like, do you have anything sharp in your pocket that could hurt me? And I'm like, just a Snickers bar. No. And he's like, do you have any weapons? I'm like, no. Are you any drugs? I'm like, no. And he finds my wallet. He takes it out, sees my student ID. He says, all right, Brandon, I need you to get in the back of my squad car. I'm like, you haven't read me my rights. What am I doing wrong? He's like, get in the back of the car. I'm like, okay. And I'm in the back of a police car, and he's driving me away, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to jail. This is awesome. I can be a convict and a homeless man in 1 week. My friends who are having fun on the beach are going to be so jealous when they get back and find out what I did on my week off. It's so authentic, so gritty. And he's driving, and he's not going towards the jail. I'm like, what is he going to do to me? And I'm a little freaked out until he pulls up to my dorm room. And he drops me off. He says, if I see you out there again, I'm going to call your mom. I'm like, all right, whatever, pig. I mean, I thought that. I didn't say that. I said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Never again, sir. And I trudge up to my dorm room, and I get inside. I look at the clock, and I realize I had been a homeless man for exactly 4.5 hours. So it's a little bit underwhelming, but then I think, you know what? That's 4.5 hours of being homeless more than anyone in my class had been homeless. So I have an edge on them. And I was, I was still kind of jazzed that I slept on a bench for a while. That was kind of cool. And 2 weeks later, we did the show, the student showcase, and I did Homeless Joe's 5 lines. And that was the best performance of a homeless guy with 5 lines that Black Box Theater had ever seen, because I had lived that life. I had breathed that man's breaths. I had been that homeless man because I lived that life, and I was really so satisfied. It wasn't until 18 years later that I found myself in the back of a cop car again, and that time I really did go to jail, but that's another story for another time. Thank you.
Brandon Burkhart, ladies and gentlemen.